My dear brothers, my dear friends, good evening. Tonight we're going to speak about the peace in family. In matter of fact, this is a seminar with a lot of lectures. We speak about the forgiven. We speak about marriage, divorce, temptations, and how we should be responsible to our beloved ones. We speak about the difficulties of living together in family. We speak about alcoholism and vices and unconditional love. But tonight we're going to speak about the peace in family, and speak about marriage, divorce, separation, and what is the Spiritist view about this. So let's start asking the Supreme Being of the universe, the most perfect, the Creator of all things, to bless all of us in this evening. Why is it so difficult to live together? It's because we have a lot of problems in ourselves, imperfections. Some people think that it's hard to live together because we are enemies for the past, from other lives. It is true sometimes, but it's not the rule. It's an exception. The rule is in a family reincarnates spirits that are loved, that know each other from long times ago, that have been parents, that have love and respect and some history before. So, but it's hard to live together because we have a lot of envy, we have jealous, we have pride, we are selfish. So we have a lot of problems. That's why it's very hard to live together. If we take a look at one of Allan Kardec's book, the Genesis, in the chapter 3, item 9, Allan Kardec tells us that there is a cause to all of our imperfections. Do you know which is? The Genesis, chapter 3, item 9. What is the cause of all our imperfections? What is the source that develop all our imperfections? And he's going to tell us that is the instinct of conservation, the self-preservation instinct. And if you take a look, it's very curious because we have the instinct of hungriness, thirstiness, the sexual instinct, but you have another instinct that it's fear. And fear is going to generate a lot of problems. Because we have fear, we develop the selfishness. Remember that sometimes we know that because we have been through already in other lives long periods of droughts, of lack of food, of long wars, winters, and so on. So we are scared, then we begin to join things, to keep all things, so on and on. Because we have fear of rejection. It's one of the greatest fears of humankind, is rejection. We're going to see that we try to please our family, our parents, the society. Then we want to be rich. We want to have a lot of money because we want to be accepted. We have a lot of fear of rejection also. Then we develop the, how do I say ganância in English? Greedy, yes. A cobiça, né? We're never satisfied. We want always more because we are afraid to be rejected. Look that if somebody shines too much, it becomes a threat to ourselves, to our self-esteem. because that person makes us feel lower, feel bad, because she brags so much. And because of fear, we're going to develop envy. Look at that's movie stars, that top models. They are very gorgeous. They have wonderful eyes, a lovely smile, and a lot of money. Her life it's very easy, just taking photos or recording movies, and they have a wonderful husband, a lot of money, and to kill ourselves, they are very thin. It's a competition that's not fair, isn't it? And they make us feel that we are not good enough, and we are afraid to be rejected, so we have envy. And to compensate, is it correct? Compensate it, we develop another bad thing, that is talking gossips, talking bad about people. Because when we speak that person has a lot of problems also, we try to put her down, and it looks like that we're growing up, but matter of fact we're not. See that because of fear we have a problem, that is the cruelty, the cowardly. Because we are not strong enough, we hit the person on the back. And if you take a look in Brazil, in my lovely city, Fortaleza, which is in Ceará, my hometown, there are children, 12, 13 years old only, and they are in the traffic lights, and they are killing with guns, fire guns, and they are very cruel sometimes. Why is that, Nazareno? It's because they have a lot of fear. They are scared to death. And they want to be famous because of their cruelty, so nobody is going to go after them. Nobody is going to challenge them. Then they are very cruel. But they are trembling, they are shaking because they have a lot of fear. That's why they drink alcohol or use drugs to commit crimes. So the cruelty can be a fruit, a product of fear also. And even the fraud in the mediumship can be, because sometimes the medium is true, he is really a paranormal. He has the psychic phenomena, has the faculties, very good. But if he's not using it well, he's using to take money from people, and so on, the good spirits may stop, may take away his mediumship. And what does he do? Because he's afraid of not having the applause of people, because he has problem of self-esteem. What does he do? He continues now, but now he's frauding the phenomena. And then somebody, look, that guy that was a fraud. Look, all the spiritist people, all the mediums, they are not real, they're not correct, because of one man. So, Allan Kardec, I think he was right when he told us that the sting of conservation is the cause of a lot of problems. If you take a look at anxiety, what is anxiety? Anxiety is the fear of the future, and we get sick because of that. So, Nazareno, you're telling so many things, and if you take a look in the Spirit's book, Nosso Lar, it's Astral City, written by André Luiz, psychographed by Chico Xavier. André Luiz, when the Second World War is going to start, the good spirits tell him, André, now we have to study about the fear, the terror. And one day, humankind will know how much important it is to understand about fear. Nazareno, you told us about fear as a cause of a lot of our problems, and I'm getting scared. I am almost in panic. What is the best solution for the fear? Who knows? I'm talking to the incarnated. Who knows what?
To face the fear.
To face the fear is good, yes, but it's not the right answer.
To be conscious.
Consciousness.
Of that state of mind.
Almost. You're getting there, but it's not that. It's the best weapon to defeat the fear. Knowledge. It's very good. Good answer. But as a matter of fact, the best weapon is faith. Faith. If you have faith, you're going to face all our problems, all the adversities, and we're going to go through this. We will overcome. And we remember that Allan Kardec has told us that unshakable faith is that one that is able to face reason face to face in every times of the humankind. And how do we improve our faith? Faith. How do we improve? With knowledge. That's why it's so important to study the Spiritist doctrine. When you know who you are, where do we come from, why do we suffer, and where are we going to, and which are the causes of our problems, of our suffering, then it's going to be very useful to us. The knowledgement and the self-knowledgement as well. That's why Allan Kardec has told us in the project 1868 that we should be studying Spiritism continuously. That would be very important too, because it's a lot of knowledge. I am not able to speak to you in just 50 minutes about 5 basic books, which one of them with 500 pages. Yes, but I invite you to study the Spirit's books, to study the Gospel according to Spiritism, the Medium's book, Heaven and Hell, or the Divine Justice according to Spiritism, the Genesis, and that's all. They're the 5 basic books. Beyond the 450 books written by Chico Xavier, psychographed by Chico Xavier. So, my friends, that's why it's very hard to live together, because we are imperfect yet. We have a lot of selfish, envy, angry, cruelty, and a lot of problems that we need to try to struggle them, to defeat them. So it's going, as soon as we get better, as we develop ourselves as spirits, we're going to live with even people who does not understand us completely, but will be in peace internally. So we're not going to be affected so easy by the problems in lives. So this first point is important. We know how good it is to study, to have the knowledge, and to improve our faith. And with faith, we're going to overcome all this. And as we study in Spiritism, we know that the spirits, before they incarnate, they plan their missions, the trials they're going to face here on earth when they are in the spiritual world. And we're going to see in the question 258 of the Spirit's book. I'll just read it for you, because it's going to be more easy to understand. The choice of trials. While in the errant state, in the spiritual home, and before a new corporeal existence, does the spirit have the awareness and foresight of what will happen to it during its new lifetime, and the Spirit's answer to Allan Kardec. The Spirit itself chooses the kinds of trials it will undergo. Its free will consists in doing so. And the other questions are going to tell us about the planning of our reincarnation. So, many times we're going to accept to reincarnate in that family. And you have that father, that mother, to marry that wife, that husband, to receive as sons, as children, that spirit, because it was good for us. When we are in the spiritual realm, we realize that this is better for us because we have a different understanding, we have a different consciousness in the spiritual world, and they are the superior spirits telling us what we should do. That's why in a family is not by the chance that we meet that people. It's not by the chance that we get married. That's why in Spiritism we're not opposed to divorce. We understand divorce and separation as well. Because what is separated on fact, in reality, to have just a rule, a law to discipline this, it's all right. The people were already separated, but we are going to see how important is the family. And if we get divorced, let's do this the best way we can do. Because the problem is not being together or not. The problem is to forgive the other. The problem is to live well, to have good feelings for the other, not become enemies. Sometimes it happens. So we should do this only if it's necessary, and we should take care of the other person. And Alberto Almeida, one another speaker of Brazil, he tells us that sometimes we just do not divide a couple, but divide all the family. So it's not just a couple separation, but a family separation. Sometimes the wife, she does not allow the children to be with their father, and that living that moment would be important for the kids, for the children. We should take care, understand this also. And we're going to see that I have the experience that a friend of mine has told me, Nazareno, I was married, and my husband was alcoholic. Help me please. Yes, sir. And I could not take it no longer, and I divorced him. It's okay. But then I find somebody else, and I got married. And after some years, he became an alcoholic again. And I separated once more. And then I knew somebody else. And that one had problems with drugs. So, for that person, there was a kind of trials that you has to overcome. And if we do not understand the lesson, sometimes it repeats on and on. Then, I have seen people that get divorced and they say, Nazareno, the other husband is just like the same, the other one, or even worse. And now I have not one problem anymore. Now I have 3 problems. Because they have the ex-husbands, isn't that? Because when we fall in love, it's very beautiful, isn't it? The passion is very, but the passion is blind. The scholars, the physicians has told us that is a lot of dopamine. It's a neurotransmitter that like a drug, and we are really like a addicted person. It changes our mind completely. And we do fall in love, not for the person, but for one imaginary person that is only in our mind. That real person does not exist. And after some years, when the passion goes by, when the dopamine goes away, then we realize, oh, all the men are the same. They just change the address, you know? In Brazil we say that. And see, in this kind of world, and Spiritism is very easy to understand because they tell us that we have many different kinds of planets, of worlds, and they are evolving as well as us, and we live in a different world, a world that the spirits call trials and expiation. Of trials, it seems that it's like a test. We have many things to overcome and so on, because that's how the spirit evolves. If you just stay laying on a bed, you're not going to evolve. But with the problems, we grow up. Kids is a good trial also of patience and so on. Thank you, Jeff. It's a good idea. I think kids are not very glad with my English. Yes, it's very bad, so they are just screaming. And so, if this is a word of trials and an expiation, who does here knows what is expiation according to the dictionary? Expiation, what does it? What does it is? Expiation is, according to the dictionary, is when you are in a prison, that you are paying paying a sentence. The judge gave you a sentence and you are paying it. Expiation means purification also. And that's I think is the best meaning according to Spiritism. We are here to evolve, but we are here in a kind of prison also. Earth, the spirits tell us, that is a school. It's a classroom. It's a home, yes, but it's a hospital also, because every one of us is sick somehow. Some of us are sick of the body, but most of all of us, we are sick of the soul. We have the problems of selfishness, pride, and so on. So we are here in like I don't know how to say oficina in English. I guess not office. When you fix things, yeah, like a garage that you they repair the vehicles. We are here to be repaired, said Bezerra de Menezes to us. So it's a kind of prison also. If you take a look at the Gospel according to Spiritism, when our beloved ones, they decease, they die, the good spirits tell us, you should not be so worried about them, you should not be crying, because you should be instead happy, because they did not need to stay longer here in a prison. They got free first than you. You should not be afraid of that. Cry? Yes, we should cry. It's natural, it's okay, but we should be rebelled against the laws of God. We should try to understand. My mom, she has seen the spirit of my grandmother. She was very Catholic. My grandmother was a wonderful woman also. And when she died, my mom, she said, "Nano, it's not fair, because she was so good. Why God didn't kept her with us here longer? Why did she have to die?" And she was very upset. And one day, in the same night, my uncle, my aunt, and the maid that working on a home, and my mom, they saw my grandmother. She appeared to my mom, and she was very angry with her, just staring her very firmly. And my mom realized that she was not happy because of what she was doing. That should try to understand and accept the reality. Then we're going to understand, and this kind of world is expiation. So we are here, and every one of us, we're going to experience the suffering, my friends. Even if we are rich, even if we are gorgeous, even if we are famous, we're going to experience the suffering in this world. Like Jesus has told us, my kingdom is not from this world. In this world you have trials, you have afflictions, but be strong. I have won the world, isn't it? Something like that. Please help me, Jeff, and all of you, okay? Sometimes I create new words, some that do not exist, so please help me, okay? It's going to be my pleasure. So, if this is a world of trial and expiation, of course it's developed, it's going to change. It's going to become a world of regeneration, a better world that only the good spirits, not superior, not pure spirits, but only the good spirits are going to be allowed to reincarnate here. And the bad ones will go away from here. That's why Jesus has told us that at the end of the times, it's not the end of the world. Don't be afraid of 2012. Nothing's going to happen over there. But at the end of the time, at the end of this cycle of trial and expiation, and the beginning of the new cycle, of the new era, that is the world of regeneration, he tells us that he's going to return and going to put to the left the goats and to the right the sheep. Is it right? Sheep? Yes. And there's going to be a separation. That's why in this state of development, this is a world of trials also. We are here being tested as we were in a classroom, and we have our classroom work to fulfill, to go on. And the spirits are not going to do what we are supposed to do. They are going to help, yes. We can, there's a kind of reality show in Brazil that you can ask the help of the college people, the universitaries in Brazil. Yes, we can ask the help of the good spirits, but they are not doing what we are supposed to do, because this is our test. And they are going to help, they're going to give us inspiration, they're going to help us to go through things, but we have to do what we're supposed to do. And we may take a look at the books. We have the Gospel of Jesus and many other of the prophets and the wonderful wise men that he sent to earth, like Buddha, Krishna, and many others to teach us the law of love. Because that's what we are doing here. We are here to learn to love. I was in a classroom of the Gospel according to Spiritism in Fortaleza, and the teacher has asked, Nazareno, do you know why you are here in earth? And I said, we are here to evolve, to develop ourselves. We are here suffering because this is a world of trial and expiation, but it's going to change, to become to a world of regeneration as soon as possible. And we are here in missions also, and we are here paying the debts, because in this life or in past lives we have done bad things. We are here to repair, to suffer the consequences also. But as Jesus has told us, love, because she loved too much, her sins were forgiven. And as Peter has told us in his first letter, love strongly, because the charity, love, can cover the multitude of sins, a lot of sins, with love, the charity. That's why it's very important for us, the charity. And then he told me, you're not right. I said, how? I have written this in Allan Kardec's books. And he told me, Allan Kardec was right. But all of this, it's only necessary because we didn't do our prime objective. You know what is the most important objectives of our lives? And he asked me, who is the greatest spirit to live on earth that you know, that have lived on earth? I said, Jesus of Nazareth. And what is the 2 commandments that he told us that contains all the laws and the prophets, all the teachings are synthesized in this. Love God above everything, of all your heart, all your spirit, of your soul, and love your neighbor as you love yourself. So we are here to learn to love. We are suffering because we don't know how to love yet. We are paying debts from the past because in the past we didn't love as we should have loved. And only loving we're going to evolve, because we are very evolved intellectually, but our hearts still do not grow yet enough. So we are here to learn to love. That's the meaning of life. And then when he tells us that he's coming back and is going to separate the goats and the sheep, where is the only condition that he gave to us? He asked us the only condition to know who's going to the left, who's going to immigrate from here to other worlds, and who is going to stay. Like he told us, blessed are the meek because they will inherit the earth. But he told us, where's the thing that we need to do to stay on the right side? Who knows? Anybody? I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, you gave me something to drink. I was naked, and you dressed me up. I was homeless, and you invited me in. I was sick or in prison, and you came to visit me. Jesus of Nazareth just asked us for charity. Not love, but love in action. Charity. And the Good Spirit has told us in question 886 of the Spirit's book, what is the true meaning of the word charity as Jesus understood it? 3 things. Benevolence towards everyone. Indulgence towards the imperfections of others. And forgiveness for offenses. So we are here to learn to love, and we're going to be in a marriage. We're going to learn to love very, very fast. Because when we are with somebody else living together, they look like a mirror. They show us what Jung, the psychotherapist, told us as a shadow. We have a shadow, there are our imperfections, and when we live together, our family shows us the things that we do not want to see. That's why it's so hard to live together also. And that's why it's so good, because when we see, we are able to change, we are able to evolve. So, my friends, we're going to see that we have a lot of different kinds of love. The first kind that's not properly love, but is the physical attraction. When we see a girl, a man, have that kind of body, that kind of face, that look, that hits our dreams, we have a lot of attraction. It's good. It helps us to be together. But this is not enough. And then the second step should be the passion. To be passionate is not bad. We know that if you are single, it's not a problem. But if you are married, this is a problem. So we must take care. And the best solution for passion is distance. To keep away from that person. And we can channel that energy to good things. Like Wagner. Do you know Wagner? The famous composer? Yes. He had a wife, Nina, but she didn't understand his poetic soul. And he was a teacher. And he fell in love for Matilde, a very gorgeous woman. And what does he do? To save his marriage, he travels for some months. He goes away because this was going to help him. And he channeled that energy of the passion to the songs for music and writes Tristan and Isolde. How do you say it in English? Tristan and Isolde by Wagner. It's a very famous opera, and when you see, you're going to remember. So take a look at this, because we have the problem of temptations also. This is a word of trials, expiation, and temptation. If you take a look at the question, I guess it's 622. Let me take a look at this. When Allan Kardec is studying, it's not 622. I'm wrong. It's 722. And we have the problem of temptation also. I forgot the number, but Allan Kardec is speaking about the use of the terrestrial goods. So he asked the spirits, why does God makes very interesting for us to use the goods on earth? And they say that because this is going to help us the progress of the humankind. You're going to evolve more. And Allan Kardec asked, what is the meaning of, what is the object of temptation? And they say to him that to develop his reason, our self discipline, concern. So sometimes in life you're going to have temptations also. Like when you're married. When I was younger, when I was living in Fortaleza, I was a Spiritist worker. I worked as in a mediumistic group, and the director of the Spirit Center has asked us, Nazareno, we are training new people to work in the mediumistic meetings, and we want to stay with somebody else in your group. With that lady, and I saw the lady. She was very gorgeous, young, and I said, and she was married, and I had a girlfriend. I said, no, so Monteiro, a friend, please not to my group, because I know myself. I maybe I'll not be able to overcome this, to resist. So it's better not. I have a lot of things to do. I own my life to spiritualism, so I cannot miss the chance of making a good work in this. So, no. And maybe this is very good, because she was the kind of lady that I would think that she was very attractive. So when you take this, so the passion and temptation, you're going to, because even when we are married, we may fall in love with somebody else. It may happen. And what are we going to do? Every time you fall in love, you're going to, just kid out wedding? No. Let's keep it, because I've told you, passions like drugs, I need to be careful with it. So, the next step is the love. As we know, the husband and wife love. And the next level, and some people have told me, Nazareno, I don't love my husband anymore. He became my friend. We are like brothers. And I tell them, don't worry. That is the development of love. Because this is a fraternal love. The love of brothers. That's good, that's okay. Because the passion has gone. And the other step is the unconditional love. The love of Jesus, love of Buddha, of Mother Teresa, and so on. That is our goal. Look, that Jesus has told us when they was asking him a question. He told us that in the God's kingdom, we do not get married, because we are all like angels from the Lord, angels of Lord. So, and the spiritual, as we develop ourselves, we're going to need somebody else, as how in earth we have the lack of somebody. It's a good point, isn't it? Some people does not want to get married anymore. It's a good thing that we know that in the future it's not going to be necessary. But here it's necessary, it's good for us. That's why, my friends, and that unconditional love is that one that the lady or the husband love the other even when he's alcoholic, even when he has problems with drugs temporarily, even when sometimes it's not well understood. When we see one of the books of Humberto de Campos by Chico Xavier is Boa Nova in English. How could I say it? Good news. It's a psychographic book, and there's a lady, Joana de Cusa, Joana from Cusa. She was married with a very rich man, and she met Jesus. She became Christian, and she could not support her husband anymore. He was very rich. She had a lot of women out of his wedding. He used to drink a lot. Did not like her anymore. And then she's going to speak to Jesus. Jesus, should I abandon my husband to follow you? He said, no, Joanna. Stay with him. Because in the appropriate time, you'll be able to help him. And then she understood that her mission was to help that spirit. That she needed to love him, even with all these problems. So we understand when it's necessary to divorce, when somebody is hitting the other, when they are getting more commitments to each other, and staying together maybe is going to be worse than separate. But we're going to say, if you can, if it's possible, try to keep it, to save your wedding, to save the marriage. Because the passions, they're only fantasy, they are not true. And in this kind of world, there is a trial and expiation world, the majority of the weddings, they're going to be weddings of trials and expiation also. Weddings when we are going to learn how to be more patient, how to be more humble, how to be more calm, how to forgive. That's how the Spirit grows up. That's how the Spirit evolve also. So, my friends, about marriage, we can say a lot of things. That some people believe in twin souls. Do you believe in twin souls? What do you think? Twin souls? Well, in the question 298 of the Spirit's books, Allan Kardec asked about the twin souls. Is there because there was a legend of the Greek people that one day Zeus divided man in two pieces, and they were looking for the other piece until they could find like twin souls. But the Spirit tells to Allan Kardec that it does not exist. And we understand that, imagine if God would put our happiness in the hands of only one person in the world, and if she dies, and if she abandons us, we're always going to be condemned to unhappiness? Of course not. So we have spirits that have a lot of affinity, that have a past. They have loved each other as friends, as parents, or as husband and wife also. That's why some couple, they are very close to each other. The wedding is better. But we don't have twin souls. Yes? And in Portuguese there's a joke, but in English I guess you are not going to understand it. There's no way to translate it to English. But look, sometimes in the wedding, just very small things causes a lot of problem. And when we take a look at this, we're going to remember that I have a brother, David, and he works with my daddy. And David has told me, Neno, it's my nickname, Neno, our daddy, he is a good lawyer, he's a wonderful man, but he does not know how to charge people. He's very good, but he's very shy. He does not ask the money. Hey, pay me, yes. And David, how many times did you ask Daddy to change? 200. Did he change? No. And don't you understand, if you continue to ask him to change, that is something that he cannot overcome. It's a problem of him. In this life, he does not have the ability to charge people. So, employ somebody else to help him to charge the clients, but don't keep over and over just fighting against him because of this. Understand, accept him as a different person, because we have the vices of trying to change everybody. We want them to be as we think that they should be, and that's not possible. The nature does not jumps. We're going to evolve easy. And if you are always complaining of one thing, it becomes Chinese torture. You know Chinese torture? Yes, they say that they get the prisoner and put him in jail and fix his head in some place and put some water dropping drops. And in the first moments the person says, these Chinese people are crazy, it does not hurt. But after some hours, the little drops become like dynamite. The people get nuts, gets crazy because of that. And small things, sometimes, you know, the toothpaste and something like that, we are complaining every time that is going to destroy our wedding. And one day I told my wife, Fernanda, if I have a problem, don't be like a Chinese torture, because it's not going to help, and you're going to destroy our wedding. So we need to understand this, to accept, to be more humble, to accept that we are not that special, that we deserve a wonderful person, to understand that even Jesus, when he was here on earth, he had suffered a lot, and he was the most perfect spirit that God showed us to be a guide and a model. And even he had so many problems. Why are we better than him? And I remember, and our spiritual guide, he tells Nazareno, sometimes we are so proud that we forget that Chico Xavier, that it was a very high spirit, a very good spirit, when he was just a child, 5 years old only. He was orphan of her mother, and he's going to live with her madrinha, how is it? Godmother? Stepmother?
No, it's not godmother.
Godmother, yes, godmother. And she spanked her many times in a day. And one day, when her adopted son was with a wound in the knees, in the leg, because somebody has told in that ancient times that if a child lick the wound, the children would be cured. And she ordered Chico Xavier to lick the wound many nights. Chico Xavier has to do this, but we don't know. I don't. No, nobody can say one single word against us, because we abandoned the Spirit Center, we abandoned the work, we abandoned our wedding, our husband and wife. Why are we so much better than, why do we think that we are better than Jesus or Chico Xavier? So when we develop our humbleness and I think that was the mission of Chico Xavier, to teach us the humbleness, the humility. Yes, we're going to, that was very important to us. So my friends, our time it's coming. I have many things to tell you, but I just want to ask you to study Spiritism, to study the Spirit's books, to help the Spirit Center, to join our forces, to help this wonderful doctrine that explains where we come from, what we're suffering, what we need to do, and we shall always remember that we're here to learn to love. And when the problems come to our family, when we are lacking peace and so on, the problems, the financial problems also, and we ask, where is God? But remember the poem of José Soares Cardoso, where is God? A scientist asks. No one has ever seen him. Who is he? A materialist answers quickly. God is an invention of faith. A thinker would say sensibly, I cannot see God, but I feel that He exists. Nature shows clearly that the power of a creator exists. But a poet would say it with the conviction of a person who affirms, because of he or she knows, I see God in a child's smile, in the sky, ocean, and the light in nature. I see God shining in the stars, in the eyes of a mother looking at her child, in a beautiful night by the moonlight. God's heart beats in everything. I see God in flowers and fields, in stars rolling around the infinite. I hear God in the voice of sweethearts and feel God in tears of the afflicted. I perceive God in the word that forgives. I see God in the hand that carries. I hear God in creatures in flight, and I feel God in peace and joy. I see God in a doctor who saves. I foresee God in the pain that unites us. I discover God in the wise man that tries to understand the human nature. I see God in a kind gesture. I hear God in the hymns believers sing. I perceive God in the sun, in freedom, and I see God in the plant and the seed. Finally, I see God everywhere, that everything speaks of His powers. I discover God when art is expressed in people's love, and also I feel God. But the most beautiful place I feel God, in His most sublime vibration, is not in the heart of nature, is inside my own heart. That God bless us all. Thank you so much.